Hi Clever Pickles, welcome to today's handwriting lesson, which is going to be on the letter A. We're going to use our top line here for some warm-ups by writing the long date. Now, you might be watching this video after I've recorded it, which means you will have the different date to me. So you need to check what the date is. I'm going to write a random date at the top here, and I'm going to pretend today is Friday, putting my capital all the way up to that top dotted line. And I'm going to make sure that I'm doing this as neat and tidy as I possibly can. But if it's not perfect, that's fine, because this is our warm-up, remember? So whatever it is for you, make sure you're doing the correct date. Okay, now when you're using your numbers, make sure they go up to the top dotted line, just like a capital. And the year is 2020. I wonder if anyone is going to use these videos after 2020. Okay, now make sure that your pencil is nice and sharp. Make sure that you're sitting properly at your table. Make sure your chair is tucked in wherever you are. And if you would like to practice using the sky, the grass, and the ground, you'll need to have a brown, a blue, and a green. And for those that haven't done it before, I will show you what I mean. So we have, you can see with our letters at the top here, these sections. 1, 2, 3 main sections. So we have the top section here, the middle section, and the bottom section. And these help us figure out the size and shape that we need to use for our letters. And to help us remember what they are, we use sky for the top section. We use grass for our main sort of section, the body section. And then we use the ground for things that go down, like our tails, like on the Y that we used here for Friday and May. Now, I don't colour the whole thing in because it would make it very hard for us to do our writing on top of that. This is just here as a bit of a reminder. The other reminders that we have are our top dotted lines, our straight full lines here in the middle, and then our bottom dotted lines. And we're going to use that today to practice writing the letter A. Now, for a capital, we go up into our top dotted section here. And what we're going to do is start at this top dotted line to come down for the left part of our A, and then down again for the right part of our A. We're going to finish with a line on top of this other line. So I'm going to do the first one. Come straight down, and then cross over for my A. Now, we're not going to fill up this whole line with A's. That would make our hand very, very tired, and then we're not going to be able to concentrate properly on how we form our letters. So I'm going to only do 6. So I'm going to remember I have a finger space here. If you want to put your finger there and do your next A, you can. If you're a clever pickle, you can take that away and just remember how big that finger space is. So I'm going to start at the top again on my top dotted line, come down nice and straight on an angle for my left, come back up to the same spot that I started in, come back down to the right in a nice straight line, and then on top of the line there, I'm going to finish my A. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like if you go too big, like that. Now I've gone above the line here, which if I was trying to write that there, I would have gone top of my Y. And down here, you can see I've come down too far, which means if I'm trying to write a letter down in this section here, it's going to get confused with whatever's up there. So I'm going to put a cross next to that. I'm not going to scribble it out or color over it or anything, just a little cross to say, I think I can do better than that on my next one. And I'm going to count that as my third one. 1, 2, 3. So now I need to do 3 more to make 6. Start at my top dots here, nice and straight down. Again, nice and straight down the other way, and cross over to finish the A. I'm going to do 2 more just like that. Let's see if you can follow along with me. Straight down, and finish with my line. Now, I'll show you what it looks like when I don't finish on top of that line. Might go up the top there. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing about what the letter might be. If I did this up here very small, I wouldn't be able to see that either. Now, it doesn't matter if you've got space left over here. That's a good spot there for any kind of corrections or practice or any kind of feedback that you might get from the person that's helping you do this, which might be your parent or your teacher. Okay, if this has gone too fast for you, just press pause and you can catch up when you're ready. Those of us that are ready though, we're going to go down to the next section here so that we can do a lowercase a. Now, lowercase a uses a round shape and we finish with a line. And we are only using our grass section here. I'm going to do the grass here between our two straight lines for a lowercase a. And it's important to practice using these lines so that we get the right shape. You need to be able to touch that top straight line and also touch that bottom straight line. So let's have a look at that when I do it. I'm going to start with my pencil almost near the line so that I can do my curved shape, come back up and then finish with a straight line. And you can see here and here, there are little gaps between my circular curved shape and the straight shape there. And that's what we want to be able to see. I'm going to remember there's a finger space between these so that I can do my next one. So I'm putting my pencil just before that top straight line. I'm going to come up and touch it, come down and touch the bottom one, go back up to touch the top line, and then straight line down to touch the bottom. So I'm touching these lines here, is that 4 times? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I touch the top line twice and the bottom line twice. I'm going to put a finger space here. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I don't touch those lines. Too small. And when we write things too small, it makes it very hard for our audience to read our writing. So we're going to make sure that we keep that sizing very consistent and it's clear so that it can be read easily. 1, 2, 3. I only need to do 3 more. So I'm going to put my pencil here and making sure when you're holding your pencil, you're not too close to the tip of it and you're not too far up the pencil. Give yourself a little bit of gap and make sure your pencil is long enough that it's resting on this part of your hand here. Let's try again. Up, touch, down, touch, up, touch, down, touch. Beautiful. Now you can see, I don't know if you can see it actually, but just here I've gone a little bit long on my A. It's not too bad. I'm just going to remember that for the next letter that I do. Touch, 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 done. That one was much better. And I'm going to try and maybe make my next one a tiny bit wider so it matches my other ones. That's a bit better. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, if you're still catching up, just press pause, but if you're ready to go on, we're going to write some words that start with the letter A. First one is all. All. So A, L, L. And that L helps us practice the line on the second section of the A. Our next word is and. Now leave a finger space. And you can put your finger there if you want to practice, or if you're trying to hold your book, that's fine. Just remember you need a finger space there. And a D is almost like an A, except we come up and touch that top dotted line. Don't worry if you have done that in a way that you don't think is accurate, that's fine. We're practicing our A today. And our next one is at. At. Great. Okay, if you're ready to keep going, we're going to put A in the middle of some words. And our first one is ball. Same as all, we're just adding a bit at the front of it. So a B, letter B, A, and then our double L. Now if your hand is starting to get tired, give your hands a shake, wriggle your fingers a little bit, put the pencil down, stretch your arms, and then come back to it. Don't give up just because you think it might be getting a bit hard. All right, finger space, and our next word is sand. Same as and, we're just adding it at the front. Now, if your S is not as neat and tidy as you'd like it, don't worry. We're focusing on the A today. Okay, and our last one, we're going to add a B to at and make bat. Make sure you remember your finger space and make sure you are touching those lines that we need to touch. So our B needs to come up and touch this top dotted line, and the T needs to come up there as well. The T is crossing on top of that line the same way our capital A did. Okay, now for some fun. Our last line is where we use the letter A to draw a picture. So we're going to do 6 lowercase a's, just like we did up here. Now our hand might be getting tired, so make sure you don't stop concentrating at this bit. So A, finger space, A, finger space, A, another one. I've done 4, I need another one, and last one, A. Excellent. Now we're going to turn these into apples. Very quick and easy. So I'm going to use a red pencil to color in my A's. I've got 3 red apples. I'm going to switch now and use a green pencil to have some green apples because green apples are tasty as well. And then I'm going to use the brown pencil to make a little bit of a stalk on all of my apples. And then I'm going to use another green pencil to create a little leaf for my apples. This is nice and quick and fun, and just a reminder that A is at the beginning of apple, and a good way for us to practice our fine motor skills. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.